Strings. Let's be real. We use them everywhere in Java. Login forms, API responses, config files, they're the absolute bedrock of so much of what we do. But here's the thing. Most of us are only scratching the surface of what's really going on. So today, let's dive deep and get you from novice to pro.
I mean, how many times have you typed this line? 1,000? 10,000? It feels like the simplest thing in the world. But behind the scenes, the JVM is doing a little dance, a series of super specific, highly optimized moves. Understanding that dance is the key to mastering strings.
All right, so first things first, we got to peel back some layers and bust one of the biggest myths out there. We need to look under the hood and see what a string actually is in the world of Java.
Now, this little chart, it might look basic, but it points to the single most important concept that trips people up. A string is not a primitive type like an int or a boolean. Nope, it's a full-on object, a class. And that one little fact changes everything about how it behaves, especially when it comes to its secret weapon. And that secret weapon is immutability. This is the superpower of a Java string. Think of it like this. Once you create a string, it's set in stone. That sequence of characters can never be changed. If you try to do something that looks like you're changing it, like adding world to hello, you're not. You're actually creating a brand new, completely separate string object. So why on earth would Java do that? What's the big deal?
Well, to see why this no-change rule is so critical, let's get out of theory and into the real world. Imagine you're building a payment gateway. We're talking about real money changing hands. Security and predictability are everything.
And here it is. This is the aha moment. If strings could be changed, you could pass a price, say $499, into some third-party library, and that library could just change it to $999. Without you ever knowing, your entire payment system would be chaos. Immutability is basically a security shield. It makes your code predictable and safe.
So this one feature, this immutability, it's like a magic key. It unlocks a whole bunch of other awesome benefits. It guarantees your data's integrity. It makes strings inherently thread-safe, a huge win for multi-threaded apps. Their hash codes are stable, which makes them perfect keys for hash maps. And, this is a big one, it allows the JVM to pull off a really clever memory-saving trick called the string pool.
And that brings us to the string pool. This is the hidden engine room, and honestly, it's the part that trips up 90% of beginners. Let's demystify it.
So whenever you create a string using double quotes like this, we call that a string literal. Now, the JVM doesn't just blindly create a new object in memory. Nah, it's way smarter than that.
First, it peeks into a special area of memory called the string pool. It asks itself, hey, have I seen this exact string hello before? If the answer is yes, it doesn't create a new one. It just says, cool, I'll have this new variable, y, point to the exact same object that x is already using. It's incredibly efficient.
But then there's the new keyword. When you do this, you're basically yelling at the JVM, hey, forget the pool. I don't care if you already have one. I want a brand new, shiny hello object created right here in the main heap memory. You're forcing it to make a duplicate.
And this is the classic trap. The double equals operator, double equal sign, doesn't check if the words inside are the same. It checks if two variables are pointing to the exact same object in memory. That's why x equals y is true. They point to the same thing in the pool. But x equals z is false because z is that duplicate we forced it to make. So, what's the pro rule? Simple. Always use the dot equals method to check if the content of two strings is the same. Period.
Okay, with that foundation solid, let's jump to the fun stuff. The modern Java toolkit, especially with Java 21, has given us some seriously cool features that just make our code better.
Oh man, the old way. We have all written code that looks like this. Trying to build a chunk of JSON or SQL, it's just a painful mess of plus signs, end characters, and escaped quotes. It's ugly, and it's so easy to make a mistake.
And then Java gave us text blocks. Just look at how clean that is. You just use 3 double quotes, and you can literally paste your multi-line text right into your code, formatting it all. For things like JSON, SQL, or HTML, this is an absolute game changer for readability. And it's not just text blocks. The string class is packed with handy little tools. Need to check if a string is empty or just contains white space? Forget writing your own logic, just use .isBlanket. Got a CSV file? .split comma is your best friend. These utilities are there to save you time and prevent bugs.
All right, last section. This is where we separate the pros from the amateurs. Performance. It's not enough for your code to just work. It has to work efficiently.
This right here, this might be the single most common performance mistake in Java, using the plus operator to build a string inside a loop. It looks so simple and harmless, but remember our old friend immutability? It's about to cause some serious trouble.
Because strings can't be changed, every single time that loop runs and hits that plus equals, Java has to create a brand new string object in memory. It takes the old string, adds the new number, and makes a completely new thing. So in this loop, you're not making one string, you're making 1,000 of them. And then you're immediately throwing 999 of them in the trash. That's a ton of wasted work.
The pro solution is to use StringBuilder. Think of it as a mutable workshop for your string. You can add to it, append stuff, whatever you need to do, and it does it all internally without creating a bunch of garbage objects. Then, only when you're completely done, you say, okay, give me the final result, and it builds that one final string for you. It's fast, it's efficient, and it's the right way to do it. And here's where you put it all together like a pro. You use a clean, beautiful text block for your template. Then you chain the .formatted method to safely and efficiently plug your variables right in. This is peak string manipulation in modern Java. It's readable, it's fast, and it's safe. So let's recap your new pro playbook. 1. Strings are immutable objects. 2. Immutability is your friend for security and performance. 3. Always use .equals for checking content. 4. Embrace modern text blocks. They make code so much cleaner. And 5. In a loop, StringBuilder is your go-to, not the plus sign.
Look, strings are the backbone of just about every Java application you will ever write. But after this, you don't just use them anymore. You get them. You understand the why behind the what. And that right there, that's the difference between just writing code and being a professional.